Tony Romo was officially released from the Cowboys Friday. With that timing, the Cowboys stand to save $14 million, but chances are the Cowboys won't do anything exotic with the money, needing a kind of insurance in case of injuries. They also need to save for big paydays for current players. Now, the Cowboys have held OTAs without Tony Romo before, when he was injured, but these workouts have been without Romo expected to return, expected to start the season, any of that. It's part of the transition to Dak and younger talent filling in the leadership vacuum. Jason Witten is still part of the franchise, but scaling back his workload. He does miss not having number 9 around, but understands it's a business.
Much like the great Parcells used to say, you know, circus doesn't stay in town forever, and it allows you, for guys like me, to understand the relationships I have right here in front of me. So it's different not having Tony around, because every time I've ever walked in this facility or in Valley Ranch, he's been a part of that and the communication that goes into it. But you know, he's in a great place. I'm excited about what's happening right now with this team and building these relationships.
It's kind of different, but at the same time, it's a business. I'm pretty sure he knows that. The rest of the guys here, you know, we all know that. Wish him the best, you know, but we got a job to do.
Last night, Dak Prescott got to wrap the honorary scarf around the Lamar Hunt statue, a tradition at FC Dallas. Is it a coincidence FC Dallas proceeded to win its match 6-2? Well, you be the judge. Dak isn't a vapid celebrity. He follows soccer. He's a big FC Dallas fan and understands why soccer in America hasn't been as competitive as in other countries.
I think we've taken athletes that would be really good at soccer, and that would put us on the level to be one of the best countries. We take that away by football and our other sports, where I think you take some of our athletes in the game of football or basketball and you put them in soccer, that would be really good. But I think it's growing. I mean, I see the passing by the soccer fields in the back, and the number of kids and the number of games that are going on. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Open mic time. Joining me is Andy Alberth, the co-founder of the National Fantasy Football Convention. Andy, you've had a little trouble getting this conference off the ground the last couple of years. Why has it come together all of a sudden this time?
I don't know if there's an exact answer of how it came together this time, but it's been 3 years definitely in the making, and it's something we're excited to have. I think it's really cool to bring it to Dallas, where Tony's played so many years for the Cowboys, and I live here and he lives here. And just knowing a lot of the coaches and players, I think it's something special to bring it here, I feel like.
One of the reasons why it's had a little bit of trouble is because the NFL has had its own share of interventions, as it were. Can you kind of explain what their take was the last couple years and where you stand with them, I suppose?
Man, there's definitely been a few hiccups. I do know we go to trial in November here in Dallas with them, so that's something I've never been a part of in my life. So it's pretty interesting to even be a part of that. But I mean, they've had some interference with us for sure. They wouldn't leave us alone, I think. They've kind of gone after a couple sponsors, or kind of let the players know that the Vegas thing shouldn't happen, but they were going to have a couple TV shows there and stuff as well. Media credentials, and their fantasy expert was there. And they had actually on their website a big fantasy article about our convention.
What's interesting, too, is, all right, year one, it's in Vegas. There may be some understandings there. But then you move to California, and they're still kind of at it. Do you kind of feel like you're being targeted as well?
I would definitely feel like we're being targeted, yeah. I mean, everybody asks that question, is that going to happen this year? And it's going to happen this year, but I mean, everybody still has that little doubt in the back of their head, because you just never know. I mean, because they are such a big organization. So, but I mean, we're excited. We're super excited to bring it to Dallas this year.
I think the timing, too, of this conference is interesting. Daily fantasy sports is kind of in a state of purgatory, as it were, but gambling on pro sports becoming more accepted, more mainstream. Do you see this convention being part of the dialogue when it comes to gambling in professional sports?
No, what we're trying to really do is just kind of beat Iceland, if that makes sense, for fantasy sports. And I would say we really focus more on the season-long compared to daily. All of our experts are more season-long experts, all of our platforms. Some of our really cool main events are all season-long events. I
think at the same time, though, because a lot of people play fantasy football leagues and oftentimes money is involved, that it can be part of that dialogue where let's look at something that people are pretty much doing anyway. Let's just be more open about it so that there isn't seedy behavior, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret. Everybody's gambling on sports, and everybody's putting some sort of money in fantasy football. If you're playing against your buddies from high school, you're maybe playing for $25 or $50, that type thing.
So let's talk a little bit about your cousin, Tony Romo. He's also a co-founder for this conference. Business opportunities for him, chance to broadcast for a top network team. How much did seeing his future factor into his retirement decision?
That's a good question. I know he really thought about it a long time, and he went back and forth on it a long time. And I think he really needed the time to kind of sit back and talk with his family and see what he really wanted to do. And it's a tough job to pass up. I mean, not every day you get offered to be in the #1 crew with Jim Nantz. That's something special, and he's really excited about it. I mean, to start that part of his career.
And also, too, the fact that there seemed to be some kind of a bidding war, as it were, for Tony Romo's services. That's also something where maybe the writing is on the wall, where you can see your future, you can see a very stable future. And whereas with the Cowboys, obviously they're going in a different direction.
Yeah, and for him, I mean, he could have played for a lot of different teams this year. But for him, he really valued playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And what I mean by that is he wanted to retire a Cowboy. He wanted to stay a Cowboy his whole career. That was his dream, is, being a Cowboy his whole career. So that meant a lot to him, not to go to another team. And that's the reason he didn't go visit any other teams.
Do you feel like he's still at peace with his decision?
He's definitely at peace. I mean, for me, in seeing it and talking to a lot of the, at least defensive players in the Cowboys, they were really surprised because he shred them in practice all second half of the season, and they knew he still had it. And he knows he still has it too, but I mean, it's a pretty cool opportunity they took, and it's hard on your body when you keep playing and taking those hits. And these guys are big out there.
And I got to imagine family, too, had a lot to do with that decision, too.
Oh, yeah, and he's an amazing father. I mean, anything he does, he puts a lot of work into it, but he really enjoys bringing the kids out on the little putting green at the house. He hypes it up so much. It's so funny how he gets these kids going. And whether it's basketball or throwing a football, and he's on his Instagram, some of them, but he gets them so excited. He gets that moment to, like, this is something special, and gets them all wild up, and they love it. The kids, the 3 and 5-year-old love it.
Kind of going full circle when it comes to the convention and when it comes to Romo. I know you're starting to attract some big names coming to the convention, and the fact that Tony Romo plays a role in that does say something in terms of his reputation within the league, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool of all the friends he's had and the people that he's networked with and met. So not a lot of people are going to say anything bad about him, and that definitely helps having him a part of the convention because he is very loyal. He's not going to stab you in the back type thing. He's such a good guy, and he's built a lot of these relationships, and that they know if Tony's involved, it's maybe something to get involved in.
National Fantasy Football Convention, July 15th and 16th at Fair Park, VIP party the day before. Tell me about some of the big names that you're expecting.
Some of the big names, obviously, David Johnson was the Fantasy Player of the Year. Helped me win my Super Bowl last year. We got
subtle, very subtle, Andy. Good.
Yeah, we got some really, we got some good verbals with NFL players. So Odell Beckham's expecting to be there. Le'Veon Bell, Jason Witten, Des Bryant. I would say Darren Woodson's coming. We're gonna have over 50 players. We're gonna do a lot of really cool, different events that have never happened before. For us, it's all about the fan interaction.
And the website?
The website's gonffc.com.
And that's the best place to buy tickets?
It's the only place to buy tickets. You're going to go to gonffc.com to buy tickets.
Andy Alberth, co-founder of the National Fantasy Football Convention. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoyed it.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.